Guys, this is the Anarchist. I'd like to say thank you to the YugiohCouncil for letting me upload a video on their channel. I'm sure they'll be kind enough to put a link to my channel in the description. I'm a UK YouTuber. I do deck profiles, discussions, tech cards. I probably think of a few tech cards that you haven't thought of. Yeah, so check me out. This is a volcanic hero deck profile. I've been using this deck for a while now. Really fun. I prefer this to the pure version because it's got more power pushes, which I really enjoy, and there are 3 cards that I would like to add to this if I had them. 2 for the extra deck, a Castel and a Daigusto Emerald, but you don't use the extra deck too much, so it doesn't matter that much, but if you have them, please play them. And in the main deck, a Jar of Avarice, which I'd probably drop my Fossil Diner for. But let's get started. Okay, 3 Volcanic Rocket, your Searcher of your Blaze Accelerator Reload, and a 1900 Beat Stick, which is a good field presence for this deck and can rack up the damage fairly quickly. Then play 3 Volcanic Scattershot, which is a Regeki that burns your opponent for 1500 points of damage, and you can recycle it, so it's really good. 3 Volcanic Shell, your discard fodder, your deck thinning engine, works with the Blaze Accelerator Reload to just deck thin and draw through your deck, and yeah. Then 2 Elemental Hero Shadow Mist, a good card, but I wouldn't want to play 3. I've played 3, and the third one is always dead. The second one is usually going to be dead, but you only need 1, because when it goes off, you can usually OTK from there, because I play the Yankees and stuff in the extra deck. You tend to use your fusions in the extra deck more than your Xyz monsters. To complement the Shadow Mist, I play 2 Summoner Monk to bring them out. Great, because if you ever have a dead spell in hand, you can go into Shadow Mist or you can go into Rocket, depending on what the situation needs. I then play 1 Royal Firestorm Guards, which is great because it recycles the Scattershots and Rockets and stuff, while letting you draw 2 at the end of it, your Pot of Avarice for the deck. And then 1 Fossil Diner. I like Fossil Diner because it's a dark hole for special summon monsters that then stops your opponent's special summoning, and when you set in this deck, people don't think you set a Fossil Diner, they think you set a Shell or something dead and they're just trying to live through it because they don't realise you're playing a hero variant or anything. So I could have set a Shadow Mist or I could have set a Shell, so they don't waste their resources trying to hit a set monster, they'll just attack into it usually. For the spells, I play 3 A Hero Lives because at worst it's fodder for your Summoner Monk. At best it gets you out of Shadow Mist and allows you to put some hefty damage down against your opponent. I then play 3 Mask Change because it allows you to do all the OTKs and bring out Dark Law. Then play 2 Magic Planter. Magic Planter's great, it gets rid of Dead Fiendish Chains. In some cases, and more often than you'd think, you want to have a Magic Planter with your Blaze Accelerator Reload, because you put that in your grave and you can Scattershot at any time and your opponent will forget that it's in the grave, so it's great. 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, almost exclusively used for Macrocosmos and D-Fissure if it's going to come up in the matchup. It's also good against Pendulum decks, but if you're you don't really care about any sort of trap cards that negate summons and stuff, because if your opponent negates your summon, you're playing Volcanics, you're not going to let your opponent have a field either, so you can wait out, whereas they usually can't. I then play 1 Regeki, because if you can't Scattershot it, Regeki it. A Mind Control, which is super good in this deck for utility, because you can either take their monster and take their level 4 and overlay into an Xyz or something, or you can say if they've summoned a Winder and you don't have the Fiendish Chain or other effect negation to out it, you can put it on your side of the field, attack for a load of damage and then give it back, and then next turn Scattershot and usually deal the last little bit of burn damage, so it's really good in this deck. Then I play 2 Pot of Duality because I find you need to draw and get your combo pieces as quickly as possible, and I know that you special summon in this deck, and some people will say, you only want to play 1, because you don't want to be locking yourself out special summoning, but you're playing Volcanics, you can wait a few turns. Half your deck is designed to stall out your opponent, and it's a stun deck, which is kind of what it does, so you don't mind waiting next turn and then OTKing or doing whatever you want to do with your Shadow Mist. For the traps, I play 3 Blaze Accelerator Reload, which is the whole reason this deck became good. It lets you draw a card by discarding a Volcanic, and when it's in the grave you can dump a Volcanic from your deck to the grave by banishing it. So you can Scattershot from your hand, or if it's in the graveyard, banish it and Scattershot from your deck. It's really, really good. And if it's in the graveyard, your opponent usually forgets because you put stuff on top of it and they just forget that it's in there. I then play 3 Fiendish Chain because you want to stop effects, you want to stop attacks as well so that you can get your combo pieces. Then play 2 Call of the Haunted because you want to bring back your Shadow Mist, you want to bring back your Rocket, and it allows for more rank 4 plays and everything else. Then play 2 Mind Crush because the whole format searches, which this stops, and Mind Crush and Dark Claw is a great thing. Also play the Vanity's Emptiness because it's Vanity's Emptiness, it's a staple. Okay, for the extra deck I play 2 Number 101 because I like to be able to just summon the next Seas monster and sit on it, because in some cases you'll go Monk and Rocket and then just overlay into 101, sit on it, because for like rogue decks they have to waste 3 resources just to kill it, be it attacking, be it using cards and stuff to try and get rid of all its materials, which can really slow down their game and give you just more advantage over them. I then play 1 Gegaga Samurai because you can make it attack twice, which is really good, so attacking over other monsters being 1900 or just dealing more damage. I then play the 1 Cowboy because burn for 800 damage, and don't forget, if it's in attack position it can suddenly boost up and take out or crash with a 3000 attack monster. So yeah, I really like him. 1 Abyss Dweller because shut down graveyard. 1 Steel Swarm Roach for Cliff Fort and Ritual Beast. Also think Infernoid would work against. But yeah, he's nice. Diamond Dire Wolf because there are some situations where you need him. You could probably cut these for the Emerald and Castell or whatever else you want to play. But I like Photon Pearl Operative because if they summon a Dante, say, you can switch it into attack mode and lose its 600 attack, so they've got a 400 attack Dante in front of you. It's not much to worry about. And Maystroke is just, you don't use the extra deck, you don't use the whole of your extra deck enough to need to worry about having just random rank 4s in there. I then play 3 Dark Law because it's Dark Law. Dark Law is amazing. Sorry about the glare. Dark Law is amazing. It's a one-sided macro that picks stuff out of your opponent's hand. You will never need to go into all 3 of them. You probably only need to go into 2 because usually you want to go into Anki first. I will explain that combo in a second. And then I play 3 Anki just because I can. Anki is really good. People underrate him because Anki has the effect of you can either attack directly for 1400, or if you attack over their monster, search out another mask change card. So your ideal play, if your opponent has an established board or if it's cleared, would be to say you special summon Shadow Mist, however you do it, and you either have 3 Mask Change in your hand, which happens more often than you'd think with the amount of draw power in here. You will tend to have them all with you already. But if you special summon this guy, say they've got an established board, you will Mask Change the Shadow Mist into an Anki, attack over their monster, search out from the deck another Mask Change, Mask Change into another Anki, attack over another monster, search out from the deck another Mask Change that Anki, and bring out a Dark Law. And then you can just sit on Dark Law for however many turns you need. If you have back row, it's a real threatening board because they can't deal with it so much. So, yeah, also, 2 Anki and Dark Law is 8000 damage, so OTKing in this deck is quite easy, especially that you can Scattershot, clear the board, and just go for the attacks. But yep, tips with the deck are always appreciated. Check out my channel. The link will probably be in the description. And yep, the Anarchist signing out.